Caddo Parish regular session meeting to order for January the 5th. Roll call, please, Mr. Hopkins.
Dominic, Johnson, Jackson, Lynn, Bowman, Cawthorn, Gage Watts, Middleton, Atkins, Chavez, Smith.
Here.
We have a quorum, sir.
Thank you. We will have the invocation by Vice President Commissioner Stephen Jackson and the Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner Mario Chavez. Everyone, please stand.
All hearts and minds be at peace as we look to the Lord. We please join me in a moment of prayer. Dear Lord, we thank you for bringing us here together. We thank you for bringing us through 2016 to 2017. Lord, we thank you for life, for health, and for strength, and the ability to be able to make decisions. Lord, we ask that in our decision making, you lead us and guide us to make them the best that you would have them to be. Lord, we know that without you, we would not be anything, we would not be able to do. Lord, we thank you for the opportunity to join here in freedom and peace. Even in the other we ask in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Guys, if you're current military or prior veteran, you'd like to render a hand salute, feel free. Everybody else, right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And with that, we will move directly into the selection of the Caddo Parish Commission officers for the year 2017. Commissioner Dominic.
I move that Commissioner Jackson be appointed as president.
Second.
This board is not up. There was a motion made for Commissioner Jackson to be the president by Commissioner Dominic, second by Commissioner Atkins. The computer, is the voting?
Got Commissioner Watts on the board.
Okay. Thank you. Do you want to speak on your motion, Commissioner Dominic?
I just, he is currently vice president. I'm going to support him as president. Protocol is to move him up, and I support Mr. Jackson as president. That's what we've been done primarily over the years, and that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Commissioner Atkins, would you like to speak on your second?
I'll echo what Commissioner Dominic has said, and I'll also point out that Commissioner Jackson is an excellent parliamentarian, has a better grasp of the parliamentary procedures than many of us around this horseshoe, and I think he's well suited for the job.
Thank you, Commissioner Atkins. Commissioner Stormy Gage Watts.
Thank you. As most of you know, I don't always have a lot of things to say, especially around this horseshoe that does not directly affect the citizens, the people who I represent in District 7. But I think I need to clear up a few things, and about that, when I say my people, I'm not talking about those people who just look like me, especially not just women, but I'm talking about people who are voiceless that I represent. It has been said that I was prejudiced and that I never include white people in when I'm talking about something. But I was brought home from the hospital by a white man who happens to be my godfather, who is my father's best friend. And I'm named after a white woman who happens to be my god sister, who is my mother's best friend. I'm probably one of the best kept little secrets that you will probably ever meet, because it's not my desire to push anyone down to climb to the top. My Bible explained to me that Samuel was demoted because of those actions, and that God promoted him because he had his heart's desire in mind. What I can say is that I was sitting here, and I came as a young, gifted, appointed person. It's obvious that I'm a woman who happens to be black, but not once have I ever made that a priority at this job. I have successfully managed and owned my own business for over 20 plus years because I naturally possess qualities of kindness, I'm skilled, and I work very well with others. I am not asking for anything but respect. I demand it. I didn't come to play dirty politics. That was never my intention. Even when the last run for president, I was offered the economic development chair for a vote. and I declined that because of my own convictions. I am here to help improve the quality of life for citizens in Caddo Parish. For president, I started a chapter right here in Shreveport, a sorority with 2 members that quickly grew to over 70 members in 2 years. Because I didn't dictate, because I know my job is to facilitate as a president and lead by example. A lot of support that was around this horseshoe that was promised was compromised somewhere and without a legitimate reason. But I would sure hate to believe that I am being looked over today because I am a hard-working, fighting agent for change who happens to be a woman. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Stormy Gage Watson. Commissioner Johnson.
Thank you. I want to kind of tag along some of the comments that Commissioner Watts said. Today I feel that we are setting back this commission at least 30 to 40 years. We've had times in which the vice president didn't make it to president, so it's not always a guarantee. Just recently with the city council, the vice chair did not make it to chairman this past year. So it's not a 100% guarantee just because someone got there. Then we look at the reason of how the officers got in place for this past year. There was 3 commissioners that were gone to Washington, D.C., which didn't allow Commissioner Watts to have the number of votes that she needed to become the vice president. So continue a political injustice by saying that, well, served in this position for a whole year, and so now it's all other kind of excuses why not to move Commissioner Watts up. If you look at any of the political bodies, a lot of the times that the people who move up to the higher ranks are the ones who have the most seniority, people who have been here the longest. Last term, basically that's how it was set up. The term before that, that's how it was set up, is as you came in, you got into the rotation to move up, and that nobody jumped over anybody else. But now it seems to be okay that it's fine to do that because there was a small political pact that was formed with the new elected officials. And so with that, they had some numbers because, like I said, it was 4 new ones that came in, and a couple other ones joined into it, and therefore you had what we have today. But there's always ways to undo what was done that was wrong. And if our system is basically, it's led by a Democrat one year, led by a Republican the next year, led by a Democrat the next year. And if you have the majority of the Democrats that would want a particular person to be the president in the year that the Democrat is supposed to be president, it seemed that the body would go along with the wishes of that particular party. But today, we don't have it. And, you know, I don't want to be in a position to say that the whole year is going to be terrible, but at the same time, it's going to be another year of what we just had, in my opinion. I try to work with everybody, but at the same time, it's kind of hard to work with some when smile one minute and next minute we got a whole different situation. I love what I do. I love representing the people of District 2, Caddo Parish, and I fight for them day in and day out. And my politics is a little different than someone else's that sit up here because everybody's district is set up a little differently. Everybody's district has different needs. But at the end of the day, it's about helping the people of Caddo Parish. And if you're not up here to help the people of Caddo Parish, you really don't need to be up here. If you got your own personal agenda about what you're trying to do and not to help the people, then you really shouldn't be up here. And that's just my opinion. So thank you.
That is everybody on the board. Please vote. Commissioner Jackson is now President Jackson.
If you would, if y'all don't mind, would you still stay in the location you're at until we finish the officers, and then we'll change the seating chart?
I'd like to make the nomination for Commissioner Doug Dominic to be Vice President.
Second.
Motion's been made by the chair, second by Commissioner Middleton. If there's nobody on the board, please vote. Doug Dominic is the Vice President. With that, I'd like to make the nomination for Commissioner Lynn Cawthorn to be the parliamentarian.
Second.
Motion made by the chair, second by Commissioner Chavez. I see no one on the board. Please vote. And Commissioner Lynn Cawthorn is now the parliamentarian. Congratulations, guys.
Change now?
You get to do the recess if you want to do a recess.
Well, we'll go ahead and change like y'all moving around.
All right, brother, appreciate you.
Somebody less dressed than this year.
You're right here, sir.
You might want to be able to.
Oh, I thought I was where Lynn Cawthorn used to sit.
No, we're gonna go here.
Okay.
He knows I have good opinion.
I want to sit here, yes.
He wants to stay in the high red district.
Place. Anyway, I
Thank
should be.
you. Weird.
What's up, bro?
Hey, man. I'm coming.
I take the new person simple sign.
You got double stuff, I think.
So when you get a chance, I need to move too, because my last name is James Watt, so I should be with a G, so I'm not the W. So I'll be right there with him.
We'll break all that down.
I can move later.
Clerk, we ready whenever you are. Just ready whenever you are.
Are you ready?
Clerk.
Okay, we're ready.
All right. Any agenda addition?
Yes, there is one agenda addition, the resolution that was written in reference to the Red River Waterway Commission, and that was put forth by administration.
Yeah, that's a request.
So it'll be Resolution 6 of 2017, and so to add this to the agenda, we'll need to pass 100%.
Second, Commissioner Matthew Lynn's motion to add and expand the agenda to include resolution number, what is it?
Resolution number 6 of 2017, and it is in recognition of the Red River and all efforts brought forward to stop flooding or make corrections to the Red River.
We have a motion and a second. This time, we need to open a public hearing for anyone to speak for or against expanding this agenda and adding this item.
Is there anyone here to speak against adding this agenda item to the agenda? Is there anyone here to speak in favor of adding this agenda item to the agenda? Seeing none, public hearing is closed.
We can vote.
All right, please vote on expanding the agenda. That passes by.
That will go under agendas with the time it's needed. This time we move to citizen comments.
All right, citizens' comments. Citizens who wish to address the commission on any issue other than zoning should fill out a comment card located in the chamber foyer and return to the commission president or commission clerk. Individual comments are limited to 3 minutes. I'll go in the order that I have them here. Mr. Kenneth J. Kraft, when you come forward, please state your name and address for the record.
Thank you, Mr. President. Kenneth Kraft, 157 Archer Avenue, Shreveport, 71105. I'd like to congratulate the new officers. Kind of reminds me of Lincoln's debate opponent for the president and vice president, Stephen Douglas. But I want to ask anybody, and Commissioner Clerk Hopkins suggested maybe contact Mayor Tyler's office of SPAR, but I wanted to recite next month Dr. King's epic, I Have a Dream speech at an appropriate forum, not so much at a parade. So if anybody knows of an evening event, a dinner, y'all know I don't charge a fee. I need about 11 minutes and a microphone. But I think it's critically important for young people to understand the powerful words 53 and a half years ago of nonviolence. They're not around. They don't study this enough in school, in my judgment. And I'd like to say something briefly about the Leonard Fournette Commissioner, District 7. I'm sorry, I always put Jersey numbers on districts. She is correct in a sense. I've always thought sexism is more subtle than racism. The 15th Amendment was 1870. 50 years later, the 19th Amendment, when the ladies got the right to vote. Think about that when you move forward through the year. It's difficult what y'all do, and I appreciate it. And the final thing I want to say is get some more Hyundais at GM. I don't think we're ever going to see Elio, and my anagram for Elio remains, oh, lie. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Kripp. I have Mr. Carl, and excuse me if I mispronounce his name, Mr. Carl Peel, or Pale.
Lee.
Good afternoon. Thank you for pronouncing that correctly. It is Carl Peel. My name is Carl Peel. I live at 7607 Gideon Street, Shreveport 71106 in Cedar Grove. And I come before you today, the first Caddo Parish Commission meeting 2017, to thank you for your service to our community and also to extend an invitation. For the last 5 years, I've worked as the Director of Financial Education at Catholic Charities of North Louisiana, helping the poor and vulnerable in our community. I have learned that poverty is complicated, that inequality is complicated, and that financial insecurity is well established and growing in our most economically challenged neighborhoods. Our solution has been and continues to be to create economic health at the household level for even the poorest among us. We began with financial education classes for those who were applying for emergency assistance with rent or utilities, and then we offered financial coaching to help these individuals set goals, establish a plan of action, and actually change behaviors. We've worked to provide an array of services such as credit repair, access to public benefits, banking information, and know-how to navigate the financial system. We've learned that we must not only help people to learn, but also to act. We must not only make sure that the doors of opportunity are open, but that people walk through them. When, for example, financial education is paired with financial coaching and an account and a savings goal, outcomes improve. We call this financial capability. We are now educating approximately 100 people per month in our money school classes, and this strategic focus on financial capability is what I believe distinguishes Catholic Charities of North Louisiana from other social service agencies that provide emergency assistance. We invite you to come, we invite all of you to come and tour our facility at 331 East 71st Street in Cedar Grove in the former St. Catherine of Siena Church. We would also like to visit with each one of you individually to discuss these issues and remedies as together we invest in people to alleviate poverty, distress, and injustice in our community. My request of all of you is that you please answer the call or email that you will receive from our director, Meg Gorley, and we look forward to meeting with each one of you individually. Thank you very much.
Mary Alice Roundtree.
Hi, I'm Mary Alice Roundtree, and I'm with the Caddo Council on Aging at 1700 Buckner Street. And I'm here to really request that you restore our original requesting of our funds for Meals on Wheels. You have been very generous to the Caddo Council on Aging to Meals on Wheels and homemaker programs for the last several years and for as long as I have been the director of the Caddo Council on Aging for 20 years. We're asking you to reach our seniors who are community at risk to please restore our funding. In Caddo Parish, right now today, we knocked on over 1,300 doors. 1,300 doors of our seniors who were at risk, who were frail, who are isolated. We didn't knock on doors in just one district. We knocked on doors in all of your districts. And our seniors need our help, especially during this cold, cold time of the year, especially during the heat. The Meals on Wheels drivers are the people that find our seniors who are at risk, who are on the floor. The nutrition is so important. Yes, that daily hot meal is so important, but that contact is probably more important than anything that I can tell you about. If I could take each one of you on a tour and you went with me on those 1,300 meals, I think you would be shocked. I think you would be absolutely shocked. I think the public would be shocked. Our seniors, so many of them, are living in absolute poverty, and they need us. They need us desperately. They've done nothing wrong. They're not in jail. They've not committed crimes. They're not on the streets. They've gotten old. Each one of us is getting older. I'm getting older. And we serve people just like Mary Alice Roundtree. I serve people in every single neighborhood who now I've just gotten older. I'm not able to go to the grocery store. I'm not able to stand at the stove and cook. So I'm asking each one of you to consider. I know the funding is very limited, and I know that we're stretching the budget as much as we can, but I want each one of you to look down deep. We're really looking at a very vulnerable population, and it's a population that's all over Caddo Parish, and I'm extremely proud that one of our highest levels is in the rural areas, which is the main focus of the Older American Act, is our rural, isolated areas. And so I'm asking you to think about restoring our funding to our original request. I'd just be terrified to cut people off the meals. And so what we want to do is keep increasing people on the meals because they need us so desperately. So thank you for letting me address you, and I hope that you will consider restoring our funding to the original request. Thank you so much. Any questions? I'm so good. It hasn't gone on yellow yet. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Craig B. Lee.
Good afternoon. Happy New Year to everybody. Craig Lee, 1035 Eustis Street, Shreveport, Louisiana. Our illustrious Commissioner Matthew Lynn is our point person there. I just wanted today to give you guys an update from CC Antoine projects this past year, which was another successful year with our CC Antoine Black History celebration in February and our birthday celebration in September as we get ready for our 9th annual. But more importantly, I wanted to thank Caddo Parish Commissioner Lyndon Johnson, my Fair Park high school classmate, for his recommendation that the I-220 bypass be renamed in certain portions after CC Antoine. This really goes a lot into our overall cultural tourism agenda. Mr. Smith, good to see you, man. But it goes into our overall cultural tourism agenda. Senator Greg Tarver has helped us procure the city and Shreveport, our coalition, $2.5 million for economic revitalization of that area. And all of this started because the Caddo Parish Commission's funding for our project. So based on what Lyndon is now doing, this now increases our brand as we seek to brand ourselves after this illustrious former Lieutenant Governor and incorporator of the city of Shreveport. So I want to thank you guys and I-49. I say I-49 with the whole nine. But I want to thank you guys for that overall deal and letting you all know that we will continue to work with the Caddo Parish Commission on the other projects. Thanks.
you, Mr. Lee. There are no additional citizens' comments.
We have no visitors, we have no special resolutions. Need to adopt
So
regular
moved.
session minutes.
Second.
I have a motion to adopt the minutes by Commissioner Gage Watts, second by Commissioner Lynn. Please vote.
Much better ears than me. Eyes too? Yeah, sorry.
Chavez. Commissioner
Sorry
Chavez.
about that. In memory.
That passes 10-0.
Next, we need to adopt the special session minutes from December 6th.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Gage Watts, second by Commissioner Chavez. Please vote. That passes 10-0.
Next, we move to communiques and committee reports. I just want to read in to let you know, it's in front of you also. Lyndon B. Johnson announces candidacy for the Police Jury Association of Louisiana Executive Board Member at Large. And that's in front of each one of you's desks there.
Administration, do you have anything?
No, sir.
Okay. You want to give an update on yesterday, or do y'all want to
On the,
reserve that right for? I'm sure there'll be plenty to talk about it, but if you want to mention it.
On the Helio, I mean, not
Yeah.
the Helio,
Gino.
but the, about the Kia and,
Yeah.
okay, well, certainly I can tell you how pleased I am, as well as you all, to have the Project Rail finally come to fruition. And what we saw yesterday was phase one. There are two other additional phases that will be taking place, which will require a second phase substantial investment, about $10 million of improvements to the area, and also the acquisition of about 92 acres, as Steve talked about, next to the adjacent plant. And that will mean a lot more jobs than what was announced yesterday. And certainly, my hat's off to the commission for being a part of that equation. And certainly, we look forward to discussing future endeavors as well related to the project with respect to the pilot. So that's more discussion that will come on that. But it was a great day for the community. And also, I made y'all aware that we reached a milestone yesterday as well in receiving $1 million threshold, $1,020,000 has been collected so far.
For the rent.
Yes.
Thank you. Appreciate your diligence on that and look forward to what comes. Commissioner Dominic.
Yeah, couple things. Is there anything we need to do for Commissioner Johnson? Do we need to pass any type of resolution to support his candidacy?
That would probably be a good thing to the body to pass a resolution of support, and we'll send to the Police Jury Association. We do it for the next meeting.
Donna, can y'all, Dr.
Perhaps
Wilson, can y'all make sure that, yeah, and y'all can put my name under there. I'll,
I will co-sponsor it. Okay,
Okay.
Stormy's name on there too, I guess.
thank you.
Anybody else? Dr. Wilson, just a couple of things. How many, you were talking about the funds again, and how much, what did you say,
$1,020,000.
That's what we've collected in rents, I thought. I just wanted to say hats off to the Caddo Parish Commissioner, Commissioner Lynn, who's been the president this year, for leading us in this endeavor. Dr. Wilson, your staff, of course, Scott Martinez and his group, and the IDB board, and City of Shreveport and the mayor for what they've done. But we did realize that endeavor is in Caddo Parish. It's a Caddo Parish Commission project through the IDB board, and only look forward for more jobs, more creation, and more economic development for that area. It just takes a lot of time to get businesses located in industrial parks. There are so many throughout the nation, the country, the state. There's a lot of competition, so we're glad that that's come through so far. We look forward with working with everybody in the future, and hopefully this is just the start of future growth for that area. So hopefully everybody can be a little bit patient. I know that there's been some things said throughout the years over the plant, but that was ultimately the goal for us to purchase it and then put it in the IDB board's hand, was to get jobs over there in the creation. So at least some are coming at this point, and we're looking for future. that's what I wanted to say.
Thank you, Commissioner Dominic. Commissioner Cawthorn.
Oh, yeah. I want to first congratulate all the new elected officers and hopefully that this can be a productive year. Secondly, it was recently brought to my attention that my alma mater, Booker T. Washington High School, has been invited to the World Strides On Stage Heritage Festival concert in New York City. I understand that this is a very prestigious opportunity for them to have, and we would like for the community to support them. And I don't know if Ken Kraft is still here. I know he's a historian. They're going to be afforded the opportunity to do two performances. One is a concert performance, and one is a marching band performance at Grant's Tomb. So hopefully we can get our local news up there, record that in video and send it back to the city of Shreveport and Parish of Caddo. Thanks.
Commissioner Cawthorn, Commissioner Atkins.
Mr. Glass, a couple of weeks ago we talked about some problems on some roads down in District 9, specifically Wallace Lake Road. I noticed the telltale signs of your staff being down there with some road markings and some plans to improve down there, so I just wanted to thank you for your prompt attention to that matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Atkins. Commissioner Stormy Gage Watts.
Thank you, sir. Director Chuck Wilson, you can keep your seat. I want to say thank you on behalf of my constituent who had the raccoon problem. She's no longer afraid to get out of her vehicle. She's gone, and she said you all moved swiftly and efficiently to get the job done. So thank you for taking care of that for her. And Dr. Wilson, if you would get the DOTD to look at the lighting on 3130. We talked about it already. When you get a chance to check on that and let me know so I can get back to the constituents on that.
Okay.
That's it. Thank you.
Dr. Wilson, I see you in the queue.
Yes, sir. I forgot to mention to the commissioners invite. Next Friday at 2 o'clock is our annual employee pin ceremony. We recognize employees' tenure, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years service. So that'll be taking place next week, Friday at 2 o'clock at the Agriculture Building at the Fairgrounds. So we'd like you all to come and participate with us if you can. And certainly a special moment in the life of an employee, especially one receiving a 30-year pin for the length of service. So certainly appreciate you all for being for that.
Is that the Ag Center at the fairground, or is that the LSU Ag Center?
The Ag Center building at the fairground.
Okay. Excuse me. Commissioner Johnson.
Yes, thank you. I would like to congratulate all the new officers for 2017. Road won't be easy as it ever is. We'll be challenged with a lot of things inside and outside of these chambers. Yesterday was a real good day. It was proud to sit out there, even though it was real cold. It was good to sit out there to recognize that we got some additional jobs here, and that the money that we put up for the building, it was not in vain. Over the years, you know, the main focus has always, the public main focus has always been Elio and the jobs, but my vote was to save the building, because without the building, there are no jobs. It would be very hard to bring somebody in to do something if you just had a slab, but if you got a building, you can always try to work around and try to do something, and those things take time. We're dealing with a market of very competitive market with cities our same size, and they have different tax incentives and different other ways to try to bring companies into them. And I want to also recognize and thank Giselle Dudley, because she worked very hard on that. The deal was actually cut on New Year's Eve, and you know how many people actually work on the holidays. A lot of people take their phone, put it on the counter, and walk away from it. But she was diligent, making sure that this happened, and that there was any of the obstacles that came in, that she would make sure that she could basically smooth them out, working with our administrator and Randy Lucky. Third thing I want to talk about is the gun buyback program that's on January the 14th at Morningstar. That time will be determined a little bit later on, but that's part of something that we worked with last year. We talked about, and we finally got all the pieces together with the DA, the sheriff, and the marshal, city marshal. Got all them, all the players together. So now we don't actually have the buyback program, and it's going to be, if I'm not mistaken, and DA, you might want to come up and explain a little bit more, but I think from the time we talked that it was start at Morningstar, go to another location, and then have another location, and be at multiple locations, not just one time a buyback program, but offer it in different segments. And there's something that we should do to try to get some of these guns off the street, to try to curtail some of the violence that's going on in Caddo Parish that we've been basically trying to curtail the last couple of years that I know of. That's all I have, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Johnson. I have just a couple of comments. I'll echo everybody's sentiment. I think the GM or the announcement that we had out yesterday was a great fresh start to the new year. You know, it's been a bumpy road, and we were glad to have it announced. I want to thank Ms. Dudley over there with NLEP and Scott and all the due diligence that you all and staff put in. It's a testament to what happens when we take the politics out and let the subject matter experts go to work. And so, what you say, Doc? Amen.
Yeah, that's all right.
Double amen. But I mean, we know what has happened in the past, and so we didn't have that this time. So we appreciate it, and you know, my phone has been ringing off the hook about how can people sign up. So that lets you know, and I'm sure every other folks' phones are ringing up when they're going to put the employment website out. So if we could pass that information along and be ready for it. I even had somebody ask about how can they do business out there. So let's get with the Chambers of Commerce, Minority Supply Institute, because those questions will come up, and maybe with purpose and see how we can get, you know, everybody an opportunity to benefit from it. Also wanted to recognize our DA. Mr. DA, do you want to come up? Do you have any words, or you just over to visit? But we didn't get to bring you up under visitors, but are you just hanging out?
As always, I want to thank the...
Like that purple tax.
Thank you, sir. Stormy Watts said I'm dressed like an Eskimo. That's all right. I just want to thank the commission. We'll firm up the plans for the buyback tomorrow and get it out to sheriff, and I adopted a protocol that was done in East Baton Rouge Parish that was very successful, and make sure that we use the people's money properly. I'm here with another group, but I'm going to have to leave because I got to go back to work down the hill. But I just want to thank you for your continued support, and I want to thank the administration for working well. We worked through a lot of issues, but they've been very accommodating, and buildings, facilities always help us get through it. So thank you.
Thanks for your hard work.
Thank you so much. We're always glad to have you over.
Mr. President, can you ask them which group it's about the resolution? Can we go ahead and move it forward if we
DA Stewart? DA Stewart? They wanted to know, were you here for the resolution? Resolution?
Is that the one on human trafficking?
Yeah, I have some people in my office. They tell me.
Okay. You want to speak on that now? I mean,
no.
Okay. I'm going to ask to suspend the rules. Go ahead and we address this resolution now, the human trafficking.
I'll second that.
Can we do that, Todd?
Well, you can do anything you want with a vote. I mean,
You're shaking your hand like that.
I mean, we can do it.
There's a motion and a second on the floor to suspend the rules. Which resolution is that?
It's on the one on human trafficking.
That is resolution number 2.
Resolution number 2. So there's a motion and a second to suspend the rules to take up resolution number 2. Open the board. To suspend the rules.
Okay.
Motion by Middleton, second by the chair. Suspend the rules. That passes. All right, resolution.
All right. Resolution number 2 of 2017 proclaiming January as Human Trafficking Awareness and Prevention Month.
Can I ask Ms. Lori McGehee to come up here and be the speaker on this and give us a briefing on it before we read the resolution?
This is a resolution to read, sir. This is a regular resolution.
Read it first, and then.
There's not a this is a regular resolution. It's not a special resolution.
Okay. I'm sorry.
If Lori could come speak on it. All right. She has a group of people with her. Let's recognize.
Good afternoon, Commissioners, Mr. President. The Caddo Parish Community Response Team would like to thank Commissioner Middleton for sponsoring this resolution, and also Commissioner Johnson for all of his work on human trafficking awareness and prevention in our community. We would like to thank the Commission for their support, and also Dr. Wilson for all his support in allowing us and supporting us to do this amazing work. The Community Response Team is a joint effort between Caddo and Bossier parishes, Shreveport and Bossier City. It encompasses so many different entities from different disciplines. We meet every 2 weeks to discuss and process cases that are possible high risk and human trafficking cases. After we process those cases, we employ different agencies to provide services for these young people to hopefully get them back on the right path and keep them on the right path. The Caddo Parish Community Response Team has been recognized in the state of Louisiana as the first of its kind, and also our specialized intensive probation unit that is working specifically with young girls and boys who have been identified as victims of human trafficking has been recognized as the first of its kind in the state of Louisiana. We're also proud that the state of Louisiana again has received an A from Shared Hope International as far as our laws and legislation. So we're very, very proud of that. I would like to recognize members of the Community Response Team. Each commissioner should have a list of our Community Response Team members, and as you can see, it is very varied and widespread, and we're very proud to have each one of these entities on our Community Response Team. The members that are here, I would like to recognize Caddo Parish Juvenile Services Administration, Detention, and Probation Department. Please stand. I would like Brenda Fape, Shauna Stinson, and Kiyomi Morris to remain standing. This is our specialized intensive unit for human trafficking. We also have Angela Henderson here from Project Celebration. Christy Robinson, Belinda Robertson, and Rachel Scott from the YWCA. Holly McInnes and Caddo Parish District Attorney James Stewart. We would also like to recognize Lex Talamo with the Shreveport Times. She has been very supportive in writing numerous articles about our efforts and our work in human trafficking. Caddo Parish has also received a NACO award because of the work in human trafficking, and we're also recognized nationally by Shared Hope International as one of the premier human trafficking multidisciplinary teams in the nation. We're very proud of that, and we are looking forward to a great year in 2017 and continuing this work. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your work.
We have a proclamation ceremony scheduled for next Friday, January 13th at 11 a.m. on the steps of the Juvenile Court, and we would like to invite each of you to be present. And also, I believe Commissioner Johnson has training planned.
Well, Sabona Power has the training for the 27th of
January 27th.
Right.
Yes, sir.
And then I will host and sponsor a human trafficking summit February. The date we're working on right now, and so the next regular session meeting we'll have the date finalized for everybody.
Thank you.
Could y'all do us a favor and get those dates to our clerk so we can get them out to everybody, because schedules tend to...
We'll email those to Mr. Hopkins.
Commissioner Milton on the board.
That's pretty much, I'd just like to congratulate everyone on what you've done, the awards that you've gotten. It's a tough thing that you're out there dealing with. We appreciate that somebody in the community has taken the lead, and the awards speak for themselves, the recognitions that you've gotten. I appreciate Lori bringing this forward, and wish you the best of luck, and I will be there next, I thought I had it for 3 o'clock next Friday, so I'm glad you got me right. It's 11 o'clock next Friday. Okay, thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Commissioner Johnson.
Yeah, I just want to tell everybody the last time we did a summit, I was just overwhelmed with all the different agencies that are working together.
Oh, hold on, Commissioner, hold on. Before y'all leave, can we do something? I'm going to cut y'all. Can somebody just make a motion to?
Motion to adopt.
Okay, there's a motion.
Second. I was up there.
All right, go ahead, Commissioner Johnson.
We need to vote for it?
Well, now we'll have comments real quick before we vote.
Okay. What I was saying is that it just was wonderful to see all the different organizations working together to fight human trafficking. With the last summit we had a panel that covered almost the width of a basketball court of different agencies working. Each one did a different piece. Everybody had a certain role that they played, and the people that was there learned a lot that particular night. And I just want to make sure that we do it again, get more people engaged so they can see some of the symptoms of human trafficking before it gets to a point that that person is no longer reachable, or that person is now gone or disappeared. And a lot of things that a lot of them didn't know was that, if you got a teenager that's getting out of school at a certain time but then coming home later, they could be in human trafficking. And you think that they're at school doing some extracurricular activity, but somebody might have them doing something else. And at the same time, they're threatened that if they tell anybody, that something could happen to them or something could happen to somebody in their family. So we just want to make sure people, once they get this training this month and awareness, that we come back with the summit in February to try to get more people engaged, and that it's not just a 1 month thing, that it continues throughout the year. And I know that there are other organizations that do things throughout the year, but if we keep it on the high point of everybody, we can try to make Shreveport and Caddo Parish a no zone for human trafficking.
Well said.
Thank you. Commissioner Lynn, were you for the motion?
That was just for the motion.
Okay. Commissioner Dominic?
That was for the motion.
Okay. All right, so that was a motion and a second. Please vote on adopting the resolution. All right, that passes 10-0. All right, is there a motion to go back into our regular order?
Second.
It's a motion by Commissioner Milton.
Just a point of order, would Ms. McGee like the resolution put on our resolution paper for that reading? Is this the same thing, you're going to read this resolution at that event, is that correct?
Would you like a copy of the resolution to be read?
Okay. Okay, that's what I wanted to know, if you wanted this resolution also for that event.
Include this one?
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
All
all right.
All right.
Okay, that'll move us back to public hearing on ordinances. We do not have any.
I wasn't necessarily.
Oh, okay,
finished
I'm
with
sorry.
mine. But I'll just go ahead and wrap my comments up by saying I appreciate everyone's support for this position. I know it's not anything easy. Nothing in life is easy. But I would just say that I apologize in advance for my soft voice. I was a drill sergeant and a drum major in the band, and it's not anything like a chief master sergeant, but it required a lot of howling and fussing, and especially in Gramblin's band. Sorry to the southern folks, but so I used to do a whole, and so now and then I also learned if you talk soft, you tend to temper the conversation a little bit. So I do apologize, and I'll try to work on that.
Well, Erica hasn't always tempered down low then.
Okay, and I'll try, but rest assured, I'll try my best to get it right.
Appreciate it.
I'll just say that I'm a fair person. I do have my convictions, and I believe what I believe. I'm an above-board, transparent individual, and I'll just leave you with that quote from Shakespeare, Othello, that says, he who steals my purse steals trash. To something nothing, 'twas mine, 'tis his, has been the slave of thousands. But he who filches me of my good name robs me of that which not enriches him, but makes me poor indeed. And I'll just leave that at that. Research it and take what you want from it. Thank you.
Okay. We have no public hearing on ordinances, no ordinances for final passage. We move to ordinances for introduction by title. Ordinance number 5660 of 2017. Amend sections 18.5, 18.8, and 18.72 of the Code of Ordinances of Caddo Parish, of the Parish of Caddo relative to flood damage prevention to amend minimum construction elevations to add Red River flood hazard area and establish a minimum elevation within that area.
So moved.
No, this is just by
Introduction.
title. Ordinance number 5661 of 2017, providing for the dissolution of the Live Oak Multi-Faith Trust and providing for other matters in connection therewith. Ordinance number 5662, to authorize the purchase of property located in section 22, Township 19 North, Range 15 West, Caddo Parish, Louisiana. Next, we need to approve the minutes for January 3rd, work session minutes.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Lynn, second by Commissioner Middleton. Does anyone want to speak? No,
That was
speaking. Oh, Johnson, go ahead. Moved by Lynn, second by Johnson. Please vote. That passes 10-0. Next.
Next, we move to resolutions. Resolution number 1, approving an amended 2016 budget and the proposed 2017 budget of the North Louisiana Criminalistic Laboratory Commission.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Dominic, second by Commissioner Chavez. Are there any questions on this? Seeing none, please vote. Chavez. Passes 10-0. Excuse me. Lord help.
Next, we move to resolution number 3, urging and requesting the Louisiana Legislature to designate a portion of I-49 within Caddo Parish boundaries as a C.C. Antoine Freeway.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Johnson, second by Commissioner Cawthorn. I just wanted to make a substitute motion that we adopt resolutions 3, we in Globo to adopt resolutions 3, resolutions 4, and resolutions 5.
Second.
Moved by the chair, second by the vice chair. Any questions? I see Commissioner Gage Watts on the board. Go ahead.
Just before we englobe all those items, I thought Commissioner Johnson was going to speak again about who C.C. Antoine was, but he gave us a brief history on Monday during our work session about it. And the one thing that you did mention is that he's buried right here in Shreveport at the corner of Burt Coons and West 70th at Bethlehem Missionary Baptist Church Cemetery. So that was the only thing that I wanted to add to it. But thank you. That was great historical information.
And there's a house with you.
There any,
Thank you.
any other comments on any other of the resolutions that we have? Seeing none, please vote. That passes 10-0 to adopt all.
Resolution number 6, urging the Louisiana federal delegation to seek and secure funding for the Red River Sediment Survey and Hydraulic Model and to otherwise provide with respect thereto.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Dominic, second by Commissioner Gage Watts. Is there any questions? Please vote. That passes 10-0.
We have no old business. We move to new business. Confirmation set date and time for receiving resumes and scheduling selection of interim appointment for Commission District 12.
Second.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Johnson, second by Commissioner Stormy Gage Watt. Before we take our vote, Mr. Clerk, did you want to share what you shared with us back there about the canvassing?
Well, we need to vote before.
You wanna do that first?
I'll do that afterwards, yes.
Okay, all right. So hold on before we all get up. Commissioner Atkins?
I was just seeking an update from Clerk Hopkins. How many resumes have you received so far?
I'm not sure. They're not due till the 11th.
Okay.
I've got a couple, I know that.
Yeah, I've seen
But
a
they'll be
couple.
coming in, so.
Okay, thank you.
And
Thank
Mr.
you, President.
I appreciate you, Commissioner Atkins. That it. And just for the record, those resumes need to come to you, right?
They need to
So
come
send them
to this office, to me. They will be stamped when I receive them, date and time will be there. And then I'll hold them on the 11th, it'll close. On the 12th, I will check with the Register of Voters office to make sure all the candidates do live in that district. And those candidates will be called, each one of them, and told to be here on that Tuesday for the work session.
Okay. So sending to a commissioner does not make it.
No, it needs to come to the commission clerk's office.
Come to the clerk.
There is an ad that will be in the Shreveport Times tomorrow, and it also will be in the Citizen tomorrow. Or actually, it was in today.
Okay. Appreciate it. Commissioner Dominic?
Yeah, I just, I kind of wanted to update, we're sitting there talking, someone may be watching this on TV, but what we're talking about is accepting the resumes and time and scheduling concerning the interim appointment for Commissioner District 12 due to the fact that Commissioner Epperson recently resigned. And if you continue to read, I just think it's important for us to read this out. We're setting the date of January 11th, and the time of 5 p.m. is the deadline for receiving resumes and scheduling a meeting at 3:30 on January 19th, which time we will have the selection of the interim appointment. So obviously that needs to be sent by the clerk here at the clerk's office, and if anybody needs to know the address, they can go to caddo.org and look online and get our address, our emails, and those type of things. So that's all I wanted to say. I thought it was important to at least read that into the record.
Okay. Commissioner Lynn?
Mr. Hopkins, will you include in all of the advertisements for the new commissioner for District 12 the qualifications that are needed for that position, the residency, the length of time, and anything else that would be a qualifier or a disqualifier in a person being allowed to run?
Okay.
Thank you. That's everything.
Commissioner Chavez?
Thank you, President. Mr. Hopkins, sorry to add to your to-do list, but will you also send the commissioners the exact verbatim rules on how we're going to take place on this vote? Because before we've had so many different variations, I want written down so that we can read mathematically. If we have two candidates, sure, yes or no is going to work. But if we have more than that, it just doesn't seem fair to the last people on the list, as we've seen in the past. So I want to know verbatim how we're supposed to address this.
Well, we have no rules that address that.
Okay,
But let me tell you what I have always done, since we've done this quite a few times. I bring them in, A starts, W ends. So it's alphabetically, I bring those names to this floor for y'all to see. And that's how each one is taken alphabetically and then voted on. Now, if this body decides they would like to do something else, it can be, I guess, a motion and a second pass to do it differently on Monday when we have that meeting. Y'all may want to set that up for Thursday's meeting.
Absolutely. I think we should, guys. I think we need to talk about this because if we each have one vote and there's one spot, we should have however many people, and we each pick the one person we get, and then we draw it down from there. We don't sit there and vote yes or no on this one person, and if we do the math, it's not working out right. So we need to figure out how to do this so it's fair for every candidate that's putting their name in the hat. And we may have to come to a resolution on this and talk about this before that day comes. I'm done, President.
I appreciate Commissioner Chavez. Commissioner Johnson?
Yes, in the past, basically when it's just one spot to be given, you have to have the majority of the sitting commissioner. So it's 11 of us, so it would take 6 votes. So if it's 2 or more, however many people it is, basically the first round, what we do is you get 1 vote, and so you hold your vote to whatever candidate you want it to be for, and you vote on it. The other ones, you don't vote. All right, so if in the first round, if somebody gets 6, they automatically in. If you get somebody with 4 and 4, and the rest of them 2 or 3 or whatever, you take the 2 highest votes. And then the next round, we take those 2 candidates and see which one would get 6 out of that. If you don't get 6 again, you got to keep going until somebody gets 6 votes. That's it.
And I believe Donna Frazier, I'm sorry, I'm reading what's up there. Attorney Frazier is going to speak to something if you check your box. So.
Basically, all I was just going to do was remind you, you talked about voting on a procedure on that Monday. You wouldn't be able to do that unless you call a special meeting to do that. You would actually have to, you may be able to discuss your procedure on the Monday, but you wouldn't be able to adopt it until the Thursday.
Did you want to speak on your memo?
No.
Okay.
Nope. I mean, that was just, the memo here outlines what votes you needed, because so that you would know how many you needed to vote on any ordinances or resolutions that you had to pass today, as well as your officers' elections and any of that. That was just a quick reference sheet so that you would have it.
Commissioner Dominic?
Commissioner Johnson said exactly what I was going to say. I was just trying to explain to everybody because it can be confusing. Basically, exactly what he said. if you have more than 2 people, then let's just say you had 4 people. I vote one time. I know when Commissioner Stormy Gage Watts was on board, I initially voted for someone else. It was her and another person were the top 2 getters, and then they went to the final round, and then you vote for Stormy or the other person. And I think that's how it worked out. It's how we've done it in the past. Yeah.
All right, Mr. Chavez. I'm just waiting my turn to talk. I just want to see it in writing. So, however this protocol is, if we can relay it to the rest of us, I'd like to analyze that later and just. There's a lot of people that said that it wasn't fair, a lot of constituents. So, I'd like to pass that information on to them so that they can see it. And if indeed it's fair, they'll be able to read that and find it true as well. That's it.
Right, I think you're asking for us to probably just adopt a set of rules, or you want to see a set of rules.
Right. I'd like to see a set of rules.
You want to see what's been said.
Right, and I'm not the only one, so it just make it easier for everybody. Well, thanks, guys.
We can work on that for you. Commissioner Atkins?
Thank you, Commissioner Jackson. I've expressed some concern in the past, but I think most of the confusion that I recall revolved around situations where you had multiple people running for multiple slots. I'm comfortable with the protocol that Commissioner Johnson laid out with respect to filling the vacancy at District 12. But writing it down certainly doesn't hurt. Sorry, Clerk, Mr. Clerk. Thank you.
That it? Commissioner Commissioner Carter.
I just want to clarify a request by Commissioner Chavez. You said that you want that in writing. Who needs to put that in writing for the commission?
The attorney and I will get together and we will come up with something in writing and provide to y'all.
And that way you'll have the empirical data.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Doing his parliamentary duty.
I like it. Good job.
All right. So are we ready to adopt? Yes. Any more questions? No questions? Vote. That passes 10-0. Mr.
Okay.
Clerk?
One item of business, we had an election in December for our charter amendments. Going back, I knew there was a time to come for the canvass. I pulled that yesterday. The canvass is the 12th of January. So we will need to have a special meeting at 3:30 on January 12th. It will not take more than 30 minutes just to canvass and approve that resolution for that election.
I might have some questions.
That'll be fine.
So you'll send that
I'll
out.
set all that up and I'll send it out.
3:30. Did you say 3:30?
3:30, that's the way it was advertised. 3:30 on January the 12th, the canvass of the election. And approval.
5 minutes.
Yeah, it won't take long.
5 minutes. And another personal privilege for on personal privilege, Dr. Wilson, Attorney Frazier, if y'all could make sure that, I know some folks said they got their letters. I don't know if Caddo Council on Aging received their letters. If y'all can make sure that they received a letter for that meeting as well on that date, I think that information that day will be helpful for them as well. Also, for committee assignments, if you would give me a call or a text or something for your committee assignments. Please don't email it to me because my email is doing something strange. I need to get with Nathan on my email. But if you would call me for committee assignments, we'll try to have those ready sometime next week for everybody. That's it. Anybody want to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn. Meeting is adjourned.